The town of Farmington. Respecting history, planning the future.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. My name is Paula Ray, and I'm your town clerk. The 5 resolutions being considered tonight were published in the Hartford Courant on March 29, 2019, and are available on the table in the entry. The referendum to consider these resolutions will be held on April 25th between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. at the regular polling places. Therefore, I'd like to call for a motion to waive the reading of the warning. Second? Thank you. And now I'd like to ask for nominations for moderator. Any nominations?
Demetrius Gianaros, 56 Basswood Road, Farmington. For the purpose of the nomination, for the moderator of the annual meeting, I nominate Riju Das. Yes.
Okay. A second? Okay. Yes?
For those of you that may not know Riju, Riju has a law degree from the University of Connecticut, an MBA in finance and management from the University of Connecticut, and a bachelor's degree in political science and communications. He has dedicated his young life already to public service, and he has served as director of public relations and counsel for the state treasurer's office for the last couple of years, and has also worked in a number of other positions, including for the U.S. Senator. Thank you.
Any further nominations? All in favor of Mr. Das for moderator? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. I'll turn the meeting over.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 Annual Town Meeting. Thank you for electing me a moderator. The town clerk has read the warning of the town meeting, or it was waived, rather. Before we begin, I would like to describe the procedures we will follow tonight. We're going to begin with reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. If you can stand and turn toward the flag over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Town meetings enjoy a great tradition here in New England. We are now a part of that tradition. Each of you, by your presence here, is an eligible voter and a member of tonight's deliberative assembly. The moderator, I am your agent to help this assembly arrive at your collective decisions on the matters before you. The moderator is here to preside, not to persuade. Your decision tonight on the town's operating budget for the 2019-2020 fiscal year is not final until approved or rejected by Farmington voters at the polls next Thursday, April 25th, 2019. Please note that voters in the referendum cannot change the budget. Rather, they just vote yes or no. If a majority of those next Thursday, April 25th, reject the budget, and the number of those voting equals at least 15% of the number of registered electors, the town council recommends a second budget, which must be lower than the budget rejected at the referendum. That then goes to a second town meeting and second referendum. If the second referendum budget is rejected at the referendum, the council will meet and adopt a budget for the upcoming fiscal year, which shall be lower than the second recommended budget. This town meeting may increase, decrease, or authorize an additional appropriation that is not in the recommended budget presented tonight. However, any increase, decrease, or addition of an appropriation shall require the affirmative vote of at least a 2/3 majority of the voters voting on such item, provided that there are at least 300 voters voting on such item. Additionally, a motion shall recommend the amounts by which one or more specific appropriations identified by account number or similar designation may be increased or decreased to equal the total amount of the increase or decrease. The recommended budget reflecting any such increases, decreases, or addition of an appropriation that is not in the recommended budget shall be submitted to a referendum. We have 6 items on the agenda tonight. Number 1, that the town report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2018 be approved. Number 2, that the budget recommended by the town council for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2019 be approved. Number 3, that the town of Farmington appropriate $1,990,000 for infrastructure improvements at various schools. This item also refers these projects to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission for a report pursuant to Section 8-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes. Number 4, that the town of Farmington appropriate $2 million for repairs to and construction and reconstruction of various town roads and drainage systems. Number 5, that the town of Farmington appropriate $1.5 million for acquisition of a ladder truck to replace ladder number 1 at the Farmington Fire Station. And number 6, to consider and act upon any other business which may properly come before said meeting. We will consider each agenda item separately. To place each of these items before you, I will call for a motion and for someone else to second. I will then ask the appropriate town officials to describe the items for informational purposes. I will then recognize anyone who wishes to speak on the motion before us. I ask you to go to one of the microphones in the aisles and to begin by stating your name and address for the record. I ask that you keep your comments to the agenda topic and to present them as briefly as possible. If you have a question, please direct the question to me as the moderator and indicate whom you would like to answer it. Please confine your questions to the topic under discussion and do not enter into a debate. If the comment or question is not germane to the topic at issue, I will rule it out of order. If a number of speakers wish to be recognized, I may set a time limit for each speaker so that as many in attendance as possible may speak before the hour gets late. Then I will call for a motion to adjourn the meeting to a referendum to be held at the regular polling places next Thursday, April 25th, 2019, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. So to begin, for motion number 1, can I have a motion to move the first item contained in the warning that the town report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2018 be approved? And a second. Comments and questions from the audience on motion number 1. Comments or questions? All right. I will now call for a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. All right. A motion passes. Motion number 2. Can I have a motion to move the second item contained in the warning that the budget recommended by the town council for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2019 be approved? And a second. I will now call upon Nancy Nickerson, Chair of the Town Council, Kathleen Blonsky, Town Manager, and Chris Fagan, Chair of the Board of Education, and Kathleen Greeter, Superintendent of Schools, to begin the presentations.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm here tonight to give a brief introduction regarding the fiscal year 2019-2020 Town Council recommended budget. Our budget deliberations and decisions are based on our strategic plan and the goal of maintaining quality services while being fiscally responsible. The budget has already gone through several iterations before it's presented to you tonight. It begins at the departmental level with requests coming to the town manager in January. At the January 8, 2019 Town Council meeting, the Town Council set a target budget increase of 2 to 2.5%. The town manager decreased the department request by $568,351 to reduce the overall budget increase from 4.4% to 2.5% to meet the Town Council's budget. A public hearing was held on the town manager's proposed 7-year capital improvement plan on February 26th. A public hearing was held on the town manager's recommended operating budget on March 12th, 2019. The town council held workshop sessions on March 13th, March 14th, and March 16th to finalize the budget. At these deliberations last month, the town council added $61,450 back into the town budget, as these items were aimed to advance the council's goals and objectives and the town of Farmington's strategic plan. After the last workshop session, the changes to the town manager's recommended budget were incorporated to create the town council's proposed budget. A public hearing on the town council's proposed budget was held on April 1st, 2019. The approved budget becomes the town council's recommended budget, which was sent to tonight's annual town meeting. The annual town meeting adjourns tonight to the referendum, which you'll vote on April 25th. During budget discussions last month, the town council discussed capital improvement projects at length. We believe that the cost of not maintaining the town's property, buildings, and equipment will have a significant negative long-term impact. The town council has made a deliberate effort to increase capital project funding in order to meet the needs of the town and the school system. The recommended budget has a total capital funding plan of $9,158,000. This budget is comprised of a general fund appropriation of $2,868,000, which is 17.82% of an increase over last year's. We also have a fund balance appropriation of $700,000 for the Parsons property acquisition and $100,000 for the Farmington Center improvements. We are recommending 3 bonding questions. One at $1,990,000 for infrastructure improvements at various schools. These are at East Farms, Union, Westwoods Upper Elementary, No Wallace, Irving Robbins, and these address many of the needs in the K-8 report. The second bonding question has to do with road reconstruction. This is $2 million, and this is for road repairs and reconstruction. Our third bonding question is $1.5 million. This is for the fire department Ladder 1 replacement truck. This recommended capital improvement plan continues to fund town-wide infrastructure improvements that include both technology upgrades and the replacement of necessary equipment. The town departments, for the town departments to ensure that high-quality services are offered to residents and to businesses. Farmington continues to have a AAA Moody's rating. According to the bond rating agencies, this is a result of stable governing body, financial management stability, a strong tax base, and funding our reserve account appropriately, and a commitment to funding our pension in a responsible manner. This allows our town to have a better bonding interest rate when borrowing and to be a priority town when bonding is being considered. As of October 2018, only 17 towns in the state of Connecticut out of 169 towns have a AAA Moody's rating. We're quite proud of this. The recommended budget has a property tax rate of 27.97 mils, which is an increase of 0.78 mils. The average homeowner with a house assessed at $226,777 will see an increase of $177.37, which is an overall tax increase of 2.88%. The town of Farmington's 2019-20 budget that you see before you tonight was unanimously voted on by the town council after much deliberation and compromise. The recommended budget was developed to maintain high service levels for both the town and the Board of Education and to ensure that our capital improvement needs are met. We remain well positioned in terms of economic development, quality education, and providing necessary services without substantially increasing taxes. The Town Council, following the guidelines in our strategic plan, strives to produce a practical and a balanced budget in order to maintain required services and meet the needs of the community. I encourage you to vote at the referendum on April 25th. The polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kathy Egan, our town manager, and the Board of Education, who will describe the budget in more detail. Thank you.
Good evening. Members of the public, I present for your review the Town Council's recommended budget for the fiscal year 1920. The town strategic plan and the town's capital improvement policy were the policy guidelines at the forefront when formulating this budget. The general fund budget includes the recommended spending for the town, for the school system, for debt service, and for capital improvements. The recommended budget for Westwood's Golf Course, the Recreation Fund, and the Solid Waste Collection and Disposal are also included for your review. The total recommended budget for fiscal year 1920 is $111,344,077, an increase of $5,052,515, or 4.75% above the current budget. The recommended town budget is $30,373,104, an increase of $799,450, or 2.70% above the current expenditure. The budget maintains the high service levels our residents expect. Highlights of the town operation by category include the following. General administration has an increase of 1.76%. Public safety has an increase of 2.12%. Public works, 1.74%. Community and recreation, 5.95%, and other, 4.58%, for a total of 2.70%. Summaries of the expenditures include: the contribution to the library is $2,603,023, which is 2.5% increase above the current budget levels. A new part-time communication position is recommended in this budget. The fire hydrant fees are projected to increase by $22,458, or 2.4% for the upcoming fiscal year. The police fleet account includes funding for 3 new 24-hour patrol vehicles and a lease payment for 1 new unmarked vehicle. This account also funds lease payments for previously purchased unmarked vehicles. This is in line with our police vehicle replacement plan. The highway and grounds operation account shows funding for 4 seasonal summer employees who will be used to supplement regular staff. The Highway and Grounds Traffic Control account shows a decrease in the electricity line item due to the conversion of street lights to the LED lamps. This purchase of street lights and relamping program has led to significant savings. The pension contribution has been increased as a result of an increase in the accrued liability for the non-active participants and Board of Education non-certified staff. This account also funds required contributions to the defined contribution plan. The workers' compensation shows a reduction due to favorable rates. Health insurance is increasing due to the projected premium increases for stop-loss insurance. I've also separated the budget by object, which includes salaries, benefits, supplies, equipment, contractual, and utilities. The increases for each object are as follows. The salaries are increasing by 1.96%. The benefits are increasing by 4.42%. Supplies by 4.96%. Equipment by 1.93%. Contractual by 3.95%. Utilities are decreasing by 2.66%. In summary, the Town Council's recommended budget is $30,373,104, which is an increase of $799,450, or 2.7% above the current expenditure. The debt group of accounts includes appropriations to make principal and interest payments on the town's long-term bonded debt. The total recommended amount for the next fiscal year is $9,298,362. This is an increase of $899,351, or 10.71% from the previous year. The increase in the debt service is a result of a full 12 months of payment to the State Clean Water Fund, a loan obligation from the wastewater treatment plant upgrade, as well as the second State Clean Water Fund loan obligation that the town expects to enter during the fall of 2019. The refuse collection budget includes the cost of collecting and disposing of solid and bulky waste generated by town residents and the town's landfill operation. This budget proposes no rate increase. The annual fee will remain at $235 per household. The capital projects, the recommended general fund cash appropriation to support the capital improvements is $2,868,000 plus a fund balance appropriation of $800,000 from the general fund. There are 3 recommended bonding questions for a total of $5,490,000. Shown here is a list of recommended capital budget projects funded by the general fund. Shown here is a list of recommended capital budget projects funded by a fund balance appropriation from the general fund. The first year of the capital plan recommends 3 bond questions for a total of $5,490,000. I will review each of the bonding questions in more detail later tonight when the moderator calls for a motion on each of the bonding items contained in the warning. This fiscal year, we are faced with new and costly mandates from the state of Connecticut as the governor and the legislature work to shape the state's fiscal environment. Partial funding of the teacher's retirement plan is just one of the many mandates that the town may face this year. This budget includes $256,006 for the town's portion of the teacher's retirement plan. In addition, included in the expenditures, $40,000 for Board of Education defined contribution. These funds are the result of the change in the retirement benefits from the non-certified collective bargaining agreement. The Board of Education account includes a recommended appropriation of $67,708,605, an increase of 2.9% above the current year budget. Details of the education budget are included in the budget document provided by the Board of Education. I will now call on Chris Fagan, who will discuss the Board of Education budget.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Chairwoman Nickerson, our town council members, and members of the public for the opportunity to come before you tonight, along with our superintendent, Kathy Greeter, to present the Farmington Board of Education's 2019-2020 budget. On behalf of the entire Farmington Board of Education, I'd like you to know that the budget as presented to you tonight represents the dedicated collaborative efforts and considered judgment first of our superintendent, Kathy Greeter, her team of administrators, including but not limited to her assistant superintendent, Kim Wynn, Director of Curriculum, Verona Rusick, Business Manager, Vince LaFontaine, Director of Facilities, Tim Harris, Director of Technology, Matt Ross, and all the district teachers. And I would just like to thank everyone for their efforts. I'd also like to thank my fellow board members for their collaboration, insight, and commitment, not only during the budget season, but also each and every day in providing leadership and support to the schools, our community of parents, families, and students. As an innovative learning organization, the mission and vision of the Farmington School District is deeply committed to a pathway of continuous improvement. Our teaching and learning process is based on the collaborative interactions among students, educators, parents, and families, and emphasizes the importance of clear expectations, rigorous standards-led curriculum, inspired instruction, personal effort, and engaged relationships leading to high levels of achievement for all learners. We collectively as a board and our administration are ultimately guided in our efforts by the fundamental principle we call the vision of the graduate, whereby Farmington students at all levels will acquire the understanding of the essential knowledge and skills in the core academic disciplines and develop the thinking and learning skills needed to meet challenges of local, national, and global citizenship in a rapidly changing world. These learning skills are embodied in 4 critical and essential elements: critical thinking and reasoning, communication and collaboration, problem solving and innovation, and self-direction and resourcefulness. However, as Kathy alluded to, and you're all aware, these are trying financial times which are operating, and we as a board are cognizant of the uncertainties related to ongoing source funding, including the pension funding liabilities at the state level, and the impact any changes there may have on communities like Farmington and its families and students. Against that backdrop, the administration and board once again undertook its zero-based budget process, vigilant of the fact that it would be difficult to make any provision for substantial increases in expenditures on education. And you can rest assured that there were certainly items that teachers, administrators, and board members would have wanted that never found their way into the budget. However, rest assured that the board, the district administrators, and its teachers remain fully committed to not allowing any imposed budget constraints somehow be an impediment to our ability to maintain the legacy of educational excellence we have here in Farmington. As you will note from the line item details that will be presented to you shortly by Superintendent Greeter, the board's budget reflects an overall increase of 2.9%, or $1,908,708, to bring the total budget to $67,708,605 for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. And as Kathy will present shortly, you'll see that approximately $1.6 million of that $1.9 million increase reflected in increases to that portion of the budget captured in contractually negotiated salaries and benefits. As such, approximately $300,000 of the total $1.9 million increase to our budget, or approximately $67 million, is directly related to extending and building upon the value proposition of educational excellence here in Farmington. As a board, we are all aware of our aging challenges facing our aging facilities also, and the board and administration remain committed to addressing our core infrastructure needs not only today and tomorrow, but into the future. In this regard, we have previously commissioned a comprehensive K-8 facilities assessment, which is reflected in the completed reports for each of our elementary schools, in addition to Westwood's Upper Elementary School and Irving Robbins Middle School. These reports serve as foundational documents for the board designed to facilitate increased security vestibules at the entrance of our schools, relocate offices at our elementary schools to address security needs, and make the office a first public point of contact, while also addressing ongoing critical overall structural, mechanical, and other capital improvements that will allow our teachers to educate our students in 21st century learning environments. In addition, over the past year, the board, administration, and council commissioned 2 separate ad hoc committees, one public survey and one financial, to reevaluate the prior Farmington High School building project and gain useful insight from the community as we move forward to again address this critical need. These efforts have resulted in the recent appointment of a new building committee to move forward once again with addressing the critical needs of this building, which is not just our largest educational facility, but is also a very important community asset. And we can no longer deny that this building is facing an existential crisis in terms of its condition, and as we as a community need to find a comprehensive solution to this problem. The board's and administration's efforts in preparing and approving its operational and capital budgets represent a dedicated approach to assess our educational infrastructure needs, both short and long term, for all our students and facilities. And we feel that we are now well positioned to have a consistent and dedicated approach to improve some of our most important educational community assets in the years to come. Farmington remains one of the highest performing school districts, not only in the state, but also the nation. And our schools, administrators, faculty, and students are routinely recognized for their educational achievements. As you'll see in Superintendent's presentation, we achieve this level of success against a backdrop of unparalleled fiscal responsibility. And as we go through this budget process, I always find one slide, and I would ask everyone here tonight in attendance to pay particular attention to one slide that shows where our district ranks in comparison to all other towns in Connecticut in terms of financial management. I trust you'll be astounded at our level of achievement in educational excellence, given our rankings indicating superior management of taxpayer dollars. In my comments to the Board of Education and Town Council during the budget process this year, I asked that we as a board and the council should work together collaboratively as partners to address our educational needs and mission, in addition to our facility needs, all in conjunction with the needs of the entire Farmington community. And tonight I would ask that the entire community, along with the board and the town council, similarly work in partnership to fulfill that mission through its support of this budget and the efforts of the new Farmington High School Building Committee. When the schools and communities work together to support learning, everyone benefits. This partnership can serve to strengthen, support, and even transform our community, resulting in an improved educational experience for our students and the families, a modern, responsive, and nurturing educational infrastructure, and more efficient use of community resources, and better alignment of goals that will allow Farmington to continue to deliver upon that legacy of educational and community excellence it has so richly earned. Because when we do that, we remain the desirable community that people want to come to live in and raise their families. And that is a winning proposition for all of us. And that is why all of us, myself included, live in this community and are proud to call ourselves Farmington residents. So it's my hope as we go through our budget in detail, you'll appreciate that this budget allows us to first maintain core programming aligned to our strategic priorities across all grade levels. Second, to continue to deliver on our mission to the students and families of Farmington. Third, address our infrastructure and capital improvement needs today and going forward. And lastly, to do so in a fiscally responsible manner. So thank you again for allowing us to present to you tonight, this evening, and I will now introduce our Superintendent, Kathy Greeter, who will walk through the budget in greater detail.
Thank you, Chris. I'm pleased to present the Board of Education's 2019-2020 school year budget to the Farmington community. The 2019-2020 school district budget was developed to address the Board of Education's mission and strategic improvement design within the budget guidelines, policies of the board, and state and federal requirements. It is important to note that throughout the budget development process, zero-based budgeting was implemented. Farmington's mission is outlined on this slide. Our mission directly aligns to our improvement design, creating a through line from our mission and strategic improvement priorities to all classrooms, all schools, and all students. This visual represents our strategic improvement design and serves as the foundation of our budget development and financial plan for the coming school year. The what is our vision of the graduate, which was developed in Farmington after a community engagement process in 2010. Farmington led the way in 2010 as school districts across Connecticut are just now developing their own vision of the graduate. The how, our framework for teaching and learning, is our instructional delivery model, and it is aligned to research on how students learn best. It reflects an active, student-centered approach to teaching and learning. The why, our core beliefs, outline how we interact with one another and how we approach our work with students each and every day. The direction, our theory of action, provides a clear direction for the next level of work for all members of our school district when it comes to our student-centered approach to teaching and learning. Again, our financial plan, the 2019-2020 budget, is directly aligned to our improvement design. This allows the school district to focus on our improvement priorities in a strategic manner, with our financial plan supporting these efforts. Farmington's vision of the graduate outlines the core body of knowledge and the transferable thinking and learning skills all Farmington students are required to master upon graduation. Improvement efforts, including curriculum, instruction, assessment, and programming, are aligned to our vision of the graduate, beginning in kindergarten and throughout all grade levels. The Board of Education's budget reflects a total budget amount of $67,708,605, with an increase of $1,908,708, or a 2.9% increase over the 2018-2019 school district budget. The budget maintains core programming K-12 aligned to our improvement design, with expansion of social emotional learning supports for students based on need. Increased security measures within our schools and in school transportation, as well as challenge and support opportunities for our students. We applied zero-based budgeting and cost containment measures throughout the budget development process, reducing the budget by approximately $600,000 from principal and program leader submissions to arrive at this budget level. This is a different view of the 2.9% increase. 1.18% of the 2.9 increase reflects collaborative employee board negotiations with all associations in the area of salaries. 1.22% of the 2.9% increase reflects health insurance claim trends that necessitate a larger increase in health insurance funding for the coming budget year. 0.40% of the 2.9% increase reflects the renewal of our transportation contract, including GPS and video surveillance for safety and security purposes, and special services transportation. 0.10% of the 2.9% increase reflects other services, supplies, equipment, and fees, including required increased special services, contracted services. Here are examples of our favorable state rankings when it comes to expenditures. The rankings are based on Connecticut's 169 towns, with 1 spending the most and 169 spending the least. The first driver of the budget is salaries. As you can see, this accounts for 66.90% of the total budget and reflects collaborative negotiations between various associations and the Board of Education. Each of the associations' negotiated salary increases are listed on this slide. The salary series reflects a 1.75 increase over this year's budget. The second major driver is employee benefits. This account provides for 100% of expected paid claims and the administration of employee health insurance. Farmington's preventative care measurements show best-in-class rates across almost all items. You can see the life and long-term disability costs on this slide as well. Given a trend in higher claim costs, there is a larger increase than in recent years in this account. The employee benefits series accounts for 15.62% of our total budget. There is an 8.20% increase in this account. Health insurance trends are trending at 10 to 12%. The services series includes varied items, including major facility projects. This series accounts for 13.80% of the total budget. It reflects a 3.59% increase. The increase in this series is across several objects. Two examples of increases in the services series are in transportation, due to our newly negotiated contract, and special services contracted services based on student need. The supplies series reflects a 0.53% decrease or a $10,003 decrease. The 400 series accounts for 2.75% of the total budget. This account provides for facilities used in swimming and ice hockey competitions and for the purchase of a wide range of items such as instructional, health, custodial, computer, and testing supplies. The next slide reflects the budget level for the equipment series, which accounts for 0.59% of the total budget. This series reflects equipment requests, and there is a slight 2.3% increase or $9,202 increase for equipment. The dues and fees series is the last series. It reflects a 0.35% of the total budget with 2.87% or a $6,382 increase. This includes memberships to organizations and liability and property insurance. The increase in this series is attributed to contractual increase in liability insurance. The next slide is an overview of the major budget drivers that reflect a 2.9% increase over the 2018-2019 school district budget, all of which I reviewed within this presentation. I will now review the Board of Education's capital improvement budget for the 2019-2020 school year. In technology infrastructure for servers, data rewiring of 2 elementary schools, and technology equipment and infrastructure improvement across schools, $480,000. In security, new upgraded security cameras, bollards, and updated public address systems in schools, $275,000. East Farms office relocation. This is the general fund cash portion of the project. I'll provide additional detail about this project when I review the bonding question for school infrastructure, $207,000. For structural architectural, $25,000. For MEP, district-wide mechanical equipment, this is deferred maintenance costs for FHS, $75,000. For code and safety compliance, this is for a union fire alarm panel and West District mechanical time locks. $90,000. Cafeteria equipment is $25,000 to bank funds over time to address cafeteria equipment needs over time. FF&E, classroom furniture, will provide new classroom furniture for all first grade classrooms for $150,000. The total for capital general fund cash projects is $1,327,000. The capital bond question for school infrastructure improvements at various schools includes the following. East Farms office suite and media center relocation will address security needs and provide programmatic improvement in the media center. The project will bring East Farms in line with other elementary schools for the size of the media center, as well as school security. The project also includes ADA upgrades and spaces that are included in the project for $1,463,000. MEP district-wide mechanical equipment includes a Union elevator, an IAR heat AC rooftop unit, design costs for Westwood's Upper Elementary School dehumidification project, and air conditioning for the Noah Wallace Media Center for $527,000. The total for the capital bond question is $1,990,000. The total recommended capital improvement budget for the school district is $3,317,000. The 2019-2020 budget supports all students to achieve academic and personal excellence, exhibit persistent effort, and live as resourceful, inquiring, and contributing global citizens. Farmington continues to lead the way in excellence in teaching and learning, as well as in student outcomes, achievements, and in the area of operations. Our financial plan supports and advances these efforts. The clarity in our improvement design greatly assists the systems alignment, including resource allocation and the implementation of strategic improvement priorities that enhance student outcomes enacted by all members of our school district community. We are making great strides in addressing much-needed K-8 facility improvements within this budget. Our K-8 facility review reports and our FHS facility review provide clarity in the needs of all of our school facilities here in Farmington. This budget reflects continued progress in our K-8 facility improvements. With the appointment of the FHS Building Committee by Town Council, we look forward to addressing the needs of the FHS facility as well. Our student, facility, school, and district accomplishments, continuous improvement efforts, rigorous curriculum, and high-quality programming have contributed to a nationally recognized education here in Farmington. The 2019-2020 budget is responsive to our community and to our students. I thank you for being here this evening to learn more about the 2019-2020 school and town budget. Thank you.
The grand list. The grand list is broken down into three categories: real estate, personal property, and motor vehicles. The real estate account shows a 0.22% increase. The personal property account shows a 1.93% increase, and the motor vehicles account shows a 1.05% increase. In summary, the grand list increased by 0.38%, or $13,996,861 for a total grand list of $3,669,373,325. Revenues, grants, charges, and others. I've broken down the revenues into 9 categories: other property taxes, licenses and permits, fines and penalties, interest, grants, service charges, other, Westwood's Golf Course, and fund equity. In summary, projected non-tax revenues are $9,821,827, or a 22.37% increase over the current year. Recommended tax and mill rate. The recommended general fund budget will require a property tax rate of 27.97 mills, an increase of 0.78 mills, or 2.88%. This illustrates that the average residential assessment will see an increase of $177.37 in their taxes. In other words, every $100,000 of assessed value equals $2,797 in taxes. And the referendum vote is Thursday, April 25th, 2019. Thank you.
All right, I will now call for comments and questions from the audience. Please be sure to state your name and address.
Good evening. Matt Hudfagner, 4 Deepwood Road. I'm here tonight to support the Town Council recommended budget and the 3 bond questions. The recommended budget maintains our town services and our exceptional school system, all things residents and taxpayers pay for and expect. I also support the 3 bond questions. Schools need to be repaired, fire trucks need to be replaced, and roads need to be paved. I think all these should be approved. I want to emphasize the infrastructural repairs at the various schools in town. Most of the school facilities have a long list of repairs and improvements, maybe most importantly, the one we are standing in today. I appreciate the council chipping away at the list of improvements and look forward to seeing more of them soon. Thank you.
Any further comments or questions from the audience?
Hi, my name is Hari Subramanian, 12 Village View Lane in Unionville. This is my first time I'm in a meeting, so or this type of a meeting, so I'm not sure if this is the right way to ask this question, but I'm just wondering, I saw the bonding requirement for the Board of Education. What's the real need for improving or moving the offices in East Farm School that we have to borrow $1.5 million to do that?
Sir, that will be raised at a later motion. Okay. So if you can hold off,
okay.
We can defer your question to when that question comes up after discussion of this motion on the town budget.
All right, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none, I will now call for a voice vote on motion 2, the town council's recommended budget. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Motion number 3, can I have a motion to move the 5th item contained in the warning that the town of Farmington appropriate $1,990,000 for infrastructure improvements at the various schools? And a second? Second. Can I have another motion to waive the reading of the resolution for this item? And a second? All right. Copies are available on the table outside. I will now call upon Superintendent of Schools Kathy Greeter.
Thank you. This is the proposed bonding question for school infrastructure improvements, which includes $1,990,000. I'll briefly review the project included in the capital bond question for school infrastructure. This is the bond question. As highlighted in the previous slide, the 2019-2020 bonded capital projects for school infrastructure include an East Farm School relocation of the administrative and nurse's office from the interior of the building to the building entrance. And this is a security measure that is being implemented at all of our schools and would meet the state expectations for security. Also, there's a relocation of the media center, a relocation of the art program, and relocation of support space to the existing location of the media center. The project will also address some ADA compliance issues at the building entrance. The cost of the project is $1,463,000 within the capital bond question. It also includes MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing infrastructure projects included in district-wide mechanical equipment for Union, IAR, Noah Wallace, and Westwoods Upper Elementary. The East Farms Elementary School project includes a capital cash amount of $207,000 and a capital bond amount of $1,463,000 for a total request of $1,670,000 for this project within the 2019-2020 capital budget. As part of our K-8 facility review, items within this project were included in the facility recommendations for East Farms. Again, this security and infrastructure project will relocate East Farms' main office suite, including the nurse's office, from the center of the school building to the entrance area of the school building, and we will relocate, update, and improve the media center. The relocation of the media center will better align to programmatic space in our other elementary schools in town. The art room will be relocated due to the office suite move. The project will also improve school security, address some ADA compliance issues, and improve the main entrance of the school. This slide provides a floor plan of the proposed project, moving the main office suite to the entry area of the school building with an ADA-compliant entryway and enhanced entryway security. This is something that we are doing at all of our schools, and East Farms would be the last elementary school to align to these expectations. You will also see the media center is relocated to provide more square footage for programmatic improvements, including a more appropriate amount of space for the media center given this school's enrollment. It is the highest enrollment for our K-4 schools. The art room is also relocated because the office will now be in the current art room space. District-wide mechanical, electrical, plumbing includes a capital bond amount of $527,000. The $527,000 for MEP, school infrastructure capital bond question, includes funding for a union elevator replacement, an IAR heat AC rooftop unit replacement, a Noah Wallace AC unit for the library, and a Westwoods dehumidification project design. Again, the 2019-2020 bond capital projects for school infrastructure include the East Farms office relocation, media center relocation, and security upgrades for $1,463,000, and MEP district-wide mechanical equipment for $527,000, for a total bond question of $1,990,000.
The bond will have a tax impact of 0.10 mils, which is a cost of $1.85 a year to the average home assessed at $226,777. And this, we are planning on taking out a 15-year note on this project. Thank you.
Any comments or questions from the audience on motion number 3? Seeing none, I will now call for a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say nay. Motion carries. Motion number 4, can I have a motion to move the 6th item contained in the warning that the town of Farmington appropriate $2 million for repairs to and reconstruction of various town roads and drainage systems? And a second? Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the resolution to the item? And a second. All right. Copies are available on the table outside. I will now call upon our town manager, Kathleen Blonsky.
Yeah, I think it's next. Okay, got it. Okay. The recommended budget includes a bonding question to appropriate $2 million to repairs and reconstruction of various town roads and drainage systems. This slide shows the proposed streets to be paved. In Season 1, it's Corporate Ave, Edgewood Street, Executive Drive, Extension Street, Hyde Road, Johnson Avenue, Judson Lane, Merrimont Street, Progress Ave, Sanford Ave, Sherman Ave, and Sylvan Ave. In Season 2, it's Blue Ridge Drive, Bonnie Drive, Cambridge Crossing, Chapel Road, Sherrill Drive, Coppermine Drive, Deborah Lane, Ellen Drive, Harlan Road, Helm Drive, Horseshoe Lane, Jeffrey Drive, Ridgeview Drive, Shady Lane, Town Farm Road, and Woodruff Road. It should be noted that although specific roads are listed to be completed over the next 2 seasons, this list is subject to change due to various external factors. The bond will have a tax impact of 0 010 mills, which is a cost of $1.86 a year to the average home, assessed at $226,777. And again, we're planning on taking out a 15-year note for this project. Thank you.
Comments or questions from the audience on motion number 4? Seeing none, I will now call for a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. And those against, please say nay. And the motion carries. Motion number 5, can I have a motion to move the 7th item contained in the warning that the town of Farmington appropriate $1.5 million for acquisition of a ladder truck to replace ladder number 1 at the Farmington Fire Station? And the second? Can I have a motion to waive the reading of the resolution for this item? And a second? I will now call upon Kathy Blonsky, our town manager.
Ladder 1. The recommended budget includes a bonding question to appropriate $1,500,000 for the replacement of Ladder 1 at Farmington Fire Station. This bond will have a tax rate impact of 010 mills, which is the cost of $1.40 a year to the average home, assessed at $226,777. And this again would be a 15-year note. Thank you.
Comments or questions from the audience on motion number 5? All right. Seeing none, I will now call for a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The motion carries. Motion number 6, is there any other business to come before the town meeting tonight? All right, seeing none, we will move on. I will ask for a motion that this annual town meeting be adjourned to referendum.
Excuse me, Mr. Moderator. The gentleman who asked the question before, I know this is a little bit intimidating process for somebody who has not been here before. I think he deserves to at least get an answer. So if you want to, I know we are past the vote. If it's okay with the rest of the people, I believe that he should get an answer. Yeah, thank you.
It looks like the speakers raised a point of information for the previous speaker who had raised a question. I will call upon the superintendent, Kathy Greeter, to answer that question.
So I apologize. I thought that I included the information when I went through the presentation, but I can elaborate on the project. So the project comes from our K-8 facility reviews, and each school has a facility review on our website, including the high school. So all of our schools do have a facility review that give us both short-term and long-term projects that we are moving along, both in this year's budget and in the coming year. And one of those projects would be in each of our schools to ensure that our office is in the front of the building. And this is for visitor security, school security. It is a state of Connecticut expectation that school offices would be in the front entrance of a school. Surprisingly, a few of our schools did not have the front office or the office in the front of the building, so we are slowly but surely getting each of our schools to move the front office to the move the main office to the entry of the school. We're also implementing school vestibules in each of our schools, and that would just create more security when it comes to visitor entrance. This project also includes a media center move. East Farms has the lowest square footage and the highest enrollment lowest square footage in the media center, and the highest enrollment in our K-4 schools. So this project gives us the opportunity, because we're moving the office from the center of the school to the exterior, the entryway of the school. If we were to just then move the art room to that area, we're really missing a significant opportunity for programmatic improvement. The media center move was recommended in the K-8 facility review for East Farms. So we felt that it was wise to do that move within this project instead of doing it in a two-step project, which eventually would have cost more money to do it in two steps. So we're trying to accomplish this in one step. Because the media center is moving, we would move the art room that is in the current space that the office is going to move to. We're going to move the art room to the current media center and support some support offices there as well. So that is the total project. Some added benefits would be increased ADA compliance, because whenever you touch a part of the school, you have to bring it up to code. And so that gives us a nice entryway that's ADA compliant now at East Farms, which is very important to, I know, the Farmington community. And it will provide increased security for our school, and it will include programmatic improvements for all of our East Farm students, including a more appropriate makerspace for that school. All our elementary schools have makerspaces, and East Farms has a very small one, so it would give more space for that as well. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And the only reason I asked is, earlier I saw that the biggest increase was in interest payments, right? So more bonding is going to drive more interest payments and more taxes, and that's where I was coming from. Anyway, I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you very much.
Thank you for the question.
Are there any other questions or comments pursuant to motion 6, which is any other business to come before this town meeting tonight?
Mr. Moderator, Ned Stachin, 6 Bella Lane. Generally, I think we get a report of attendance to know whether or not we had the 300 people here. I don't think we have it, but I just would like to know what the...
The moderator, 60 residents were checked in tonight. Are there any other questions or comments pursuant to motion number 6? Sir, if you can approach the microphone and state your name and address.
Hi, good evening. Brian Lindroth, 4 Chelsea Place, Farmington. I think you did a great job on the budget. I just had one question, and I'm not really sure who to address it, but the appropriation for the ladder truck, it's a lot of money, and I was just curious how the decision was made to allocate funds to that versus the schools or something else. I just wanted to understand how that priority was put ahead of potentially other priorities by the board. That's all. Otherwise, I think you guys did a really good job.
The chair will recognize the town manager, Kathy Blonsky.
I can just speak to this. The ladder truck is going to be over 20 years old. It's our only ladder truck in the community, so it's due to be replaced. It has a lot of maintenance issues, and again, part of our maintenance schedule and being the only ladder truck in the town. So based on it was part of the council made the priorities of you'd have to address that. It was, oh yes, that's true, and it was postponed from last year. It was supposed to be replaced last year, and so again, it's an extra year older and more of the maintenance cost. And again, I think the biggest thing is it is our only ladder truck in town, and if it goes out of service, we have to have other towns cover for us because of the situation that it's the only one.
Any other questions or comments pursuant to motion 6? which is any other business to come before this town meeting tonight? Seeing none, we will now move on. I will ask for a motion that this annual town meeting be adjourned to referendum vote on resolutions considered pursuant to the items in the annual town meeting notice to be held next Thursday, April 25th, 2019, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. at the polling places indicated in the notice. And the second? I will now call for a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Motion to adjourn has passed. I now declare the meeting adjourned to referendum. Thank you.